Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, Knights of Guinevere pilot. What did you think of it, my friend?
Most importantly, though, I love how I would say valuable certain technology is. Like technology is all around, like within like I would say the underground, like the surface,
Mm,
but
yeah.
like it's not as advanced. Like you see like how there's like only like maybe a few handful of robots every now and then
Yeah.
compared to
It,
like in the Prime City where we pretty much don't see it, but we see that it's a bright, cheerful land.
mhm. And to me, it reminded me a lot of BioShock Infinite, funny enough, with the floating city in the sky with like the impoverished land down below. It reminded me a lot of that. And I think, okay, I'm finding it interesting because the ship guy's name, I forgot his name, the captain guy, he was saying like, scraps don't really sell that well. What people want is exotics. And so that has me curious as well. But
Especially, oh, sorry.
no, I was trailing off there. I didn't really have a
No,
second thought after that.
no, I mean, I agree with the exotics because he was also showing like a little vial of some mysterious like glowing liquid, and
Hmm.
it could probably be implied that it's probably drugs to some degree because he was also seen constantly smoking a pipe of some
Yeah,
type of
and
substance.
the guys that were standing on the crates next to him said, "This will really help calm your mind, help calm you down a lot." I recalled seeing that, and then I also noticed I don't know if it was just because of the lighting, but it looked very blue, which is the same stuff powering the androids, I want to say, based on like the teasers and everything that we've seen so far. So I wonder if that like liquid is like a not like a hallucinogenic, but like something to get like intoxicated off of. That's what I'm thinking.
And I think you might be right because we see that commonly throughout the show. Well, we see it throughout the pilot quite a bit, especially when it comes to like that one man who was coughing when they called her a crownie. Like he was just coughing up a
Yeah,
bunch of blue stuff. And even when she spit out, and then even when our other main character, her name was Andrea,
Andrea. Yeah.
yeah, when she did the little spit agreement, she also spit out blue stuff. So she probably is taking those substances as well to be like part of
Hmm.
the hierarchy. I don't know if that implies she's an android or that I think it's like you have to like take a certain amount of substances um because what we see also from like the little teaser for like the Planet Park Planet,
Hmm.
it shows that it's supposed to be this very wonderful, joyous time. And honestly, it kind of reminds me of We Happy Few in a way,
Ooh, yeah, that's a good comparison. I do
because
like that.
it almost feels like it has to always be this huge place of huge it's a huge supportive industry where everything has to be in the best favor. And why
Hmm.
Andrea also probably got fired from the lab was because, she was seen being unhappy. we don't
True.
we don't see her get
And
fired. That's the thing. And it's like it's entirely possible that it's like, why do you have such a bad attitude coming here? You're literally coming to the best place on earth. But yeah, I feel quite a lot of vibes from We Happy Few, especially the disparity. You could really tell that it's like one part is just all sunshine and rainbows and everyone wants to go there. While on the other
mhm,
end, it's literally the poorest, horriblest place imaginable, where everyone is blaming everyone.
mhm.
And
Okay,
it
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just very interested that, crownies, or how they refer to the rich people in this society, aka not even rich, really. It's just people who work for the tower and who work for the the higher ups. How they do come down like to the surface, and not a lot of people like to deal with them.
Right.
Which is interesting because if they have all the money, why wouldn't you want to deal with them? Probably because they either know something that we don't, maybe it's just like a class disparity thing, or it could go to maybe some backstory about what has happened to these people that made them feel this way.
Right. I think the biggest question on my mind right now is what caused like the whole separation? Obviously, like financially aside, like what is it that makes the people down below hate not just Guinevere, like like we saw in the trailer and in the pilot, like they were graffitiing all over like promotional stuff for her, but even just the workers themselves, like Andrea, it's very clear they do not like her just because she has the job, and that was made like pretty substantial at the start of it.
True,
But
true. I
and
was.
then kind of
Oh, no, keep going.
oh sorry,
No, keep going.
but what I was gonna say was so kind of going back to the whole like the blue liquid is a sort of drug theory. We see the girl at the opening, I think her name's Olivia. We see how she's like sick and hooked up to all these machines in, I'm guessing like the same bedroom area as before. Now, I'm not certain that it could be like, it could just be old age. You know, she's old, she's lived this long thanks to machinery. But I wonder if it's like exposure to that blue sort of liquid. Because again, in the opening, we see her like drag Guinevere by her intestines, and there's a whole bunch of blue stuff like on her hand afterwards. But and then when we come back to her, she's sick, lying in bed, being treated by the other androids.
And being.
So that kind of makes me,
And also, like,
yeah,
the
like being
IV
helped.
tubes is also feeding it directly into her.
Yeah, that makes me wonder. Like that's kind of my big number one theory right now is like whatever this blue stuff is, it's a drug. It can like maybe take your mind off things, but it's slowly killing you on the inside.
Mm. What I was.
Like real drugs. I mean.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I don't need to keep interrupting. I was
I'm
just.
sorry.
I was just really interested that the surface makes all of the product for the higher ups. They So
Mhm.
pretty much they spit out the garbage, they recycle the garbage, and they either resell it back to the top, or they just make it right over like in the surface and then they sell it back to the top. Like kind of like a
Right.
weird echo chamber
Mhm.
where it's just this
And
weird cycle. And I guess the interesting thing about that is, well, it's not really talked about that often.
no, it seems like this has become sort of second nature for the people on the surface. Like they're so used to just having garbage just tossed down to them all the time from the surface. Like we literally saw it with when the Park Planet flew over the ocean. Like all that garbage just thrown over the side. Not that's also interesting. Like not thrown or like dropped from the bottom or anything. Where like imagine this, right? You're on like the edge of the park and you just see all this garbage being tossed over. That would be a weird thing to see as a guest. So normally, oh, I say normally like we have floating islands, but like it'd make more sense logically to have it come down from the bottom so no one sees it. But to have it come right from on top makes me wonder like who else is really alive on the park? Is this a situation where like Bioshock, there's this big grandiose place just buried, just hiding up in the sky where they think all the rich live, but in reality there's no one alive up there
Yeah,
except for like Olivia.
and also everyone else who is there is just kind of more or less just existing, not really like living the greatest of lives. It's just a fantasy.
Mm.
That's the whole thing. It's like I think you're quoting like BioShock Infinite more or less. Like the floating
Yeah,
island.
it's like a mix of Infinite, like the floating island of Infinite, but like the abandoned and ruined nature of like the original
Oh
Bioshock.
yeah, yeah. Whatever is left is just the scraps. The thing is, I think that what? Because we see quite a lot of clouds, probably from all the smog and stuff that was created from down below. And it probably hovers in the
Mm.
sky to try and hide and mask everything else. Like, why would you go to the rest of the planet when you could just go to this magical floating island in the sky? Where everything just
Right.
feels magical because you're above all of the shit underneath.
Yeah. And yeah, no, that pretty much adds up. Like, if you can afford to go here, great, welcome aboard. Happy to have you. But if you can't, then it's like, well, you're miserable. You're stuck down at the bottom. You can maybe make money by making our products for us, and then in return, we'll give you scraps or something you can maybe sell,
Exactly.
as well as that weird blue drug thing.
Yeah, it's just like fake happiness, just so you don't have to like really think, I guess, about how shitty your life is, and you can just keep on pretending that, well, it's not really that bad because I'm still alive, but at the same time, you're struggling in poverty for probably
It's
the
like,
rest of your life.
yeah, it's like you're working at the greatest place ever imagined, but in reality, you're like super miserable the entire time. But you can't show that. You can't show that you're miserable because otherwise, you lose your job, get sent to the slums essentially.
Really interesting. I'm really interested on the fact that, what, Olivia also didn't want to call security. So they know security is a thing, and I guess they are
Hmm.
notorious for like reporting up to the higher ups. So she calls in one
It,
of her own personal guards to take care of the matter.
yeah, it seemed like security were those guys at the docks. They had like the glowing helmets. I want to say. I think that may be part of the security team because they called them at the start of the episode, but and it wouldn't have been that big night because I'm guessing because if it was the big night that was security, they then Andrea and Francis would have seen it or like recognized it, like, oh, it's one of the security things, So maybe those are like the elite guards that'll like do the
Possibly.
major work. Yeah.
So what you could, because even when we saw security for the very first time, even what the ship captain didn't want to deal with them. Like even they tried to hide
Right.
it. So it's obvious that security will just do whatever it takes in their power, and they don't care if they take the credit or anything. They probably wouldn't even pay them anyways for finding it.
Because you said, why would they like bother like sticking to the rules, like doing whatever? They would just do whatever is necessary to get the job done to bring her back. It reminds me a lot of like the like Death Troopers from Star Wars, where they're like, well, not like the elite of the elite, but like they're stoic, they're silent. You can kind of tell like they belong to this elite faction, and they will do whatever it takes to please the masters and whatnot.
Exactly. By whatever cost necessary. I was
Exactly.
just really interested though that's like what Frances had to work like 3 separate jobs in order to survive. Because you notice how she was
Yeah.
constantly looking at the clock. So she was creating the merchandise, she was shipping off merchandise, and she was also collecting the materials that they also use for merchandise. That's 3 jobs.
Yeah.
That is insane.
That- And you can kind of see how insane she was getting
Oh
too,
yeah.
with like her hallucinating the plushies talking to her.
Oh yeah.
So that's definitely a possibility.
Also the
So
fact
it
that
does
she
seem
sees Guinevere in a very different light, she sees as like very wholesome and positive.
right. Maybe she's still in that mentality where like, oh, the Park Planet is perfect. Guinevere can do no wrong. But every now and then she snaps back to like the like reality of the situation.
True. I mean,
You
she's
know,
the only positive one, it seems, for the entire production so far. Like, she always finds a way to keep her calm, level head.
right? And she wants to work at the labs too. That's another interesting thing. Like she wants to work in that place where kind of her hero is, or like her idol would
And
be
that's why
at.
she thinks that fixing robots and stuff will get her that position. But even then, it's never a guarantee. Even if she does, she'll probably never be able to see her creation ever again. If that might be
Right.
true. Because the fact
Yeah.
is, they went to the bottom labs and they said this is where abandoned projects go to die.
Hmm.
Meaning there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of ideas. Because there was like, what, several labs?
Yeah. I saw. I might have miscounted, but I think I saw like 8 plus, maybe 8 or
That's what
more
I
labs
thought
in
too.
the ocean.
Yeah, 8+ labs with like hundreds of them all buried deep down, like underneath water and
And
stuff like that.
Yeah, under below the ocean, which really goes to show how big that like elite drone was. Because I don't know how far the thing was. Like that thing was huge, and it like easily picked up that lab.
Two